Jack Miller opened his eyes to false silence. He felt cold metal under his body and heard a low hum in his ears. The shuttle cabin was dark and cracked. Faint sparks danced near the control panel. He pushed himself up and touched his head. Slow trickle of blood warmed his hand. He winced, but forced himself to stand. The shuttle had broken into pieces around him. Outside the broken hatch, the world was still and strange. Red mist hovered above the ground. The trees had thick trunks with glowing veins of green light. Strange vines curled up toward the sky. Jack knew he was far from home. He called softly, "Hello?" but his voice felt weak. He tried to recall his mission. The human survey team had traveled here to study odd energy readings. The planet was uncharted. It might hold resources that could help Earth. Jack was only the team leader, but he had trained for moments like this. He checked his suit. The display flickered with warnings. Oxygen was low. Suit integrity was at 60%. He needed to find his team in a safe place to wait for rescue. With careful steps, he moved through the wreckage. Every few meters, he peered into the dark. Cables and twisted metal lay like fallen giants. A panel of the shuttle roof lay folded over a fallen seat. He shook the seat gently. No response. He found Petra near a broken console. Her arm was pinned under a metal beam. Petra's face was pale, but her eyes opened when Jack crouched beside her. He pressed his hand on her shoulder and said, "Petra, stay calm. I will free you." She nodded. Jack lifted the beam with all his strength and pulled it away. Petra sighed and rubbed her arm. He took out a small tool and pried loose the shard of metal cutting into her suit. Sheath of red fluid seeped into the dirt. "We need to move," Jack said. "This place is not safe." Petra cringed and pushed herself. "Up. Where is the rest?" she asked. Jack shook his head. "I do not know. I will find them. Stay here. I will come back." He checked the suit display again. Oxygen would hold for 2 hours. He pressed a button on his cum. "Base, this is Miller. I am alive. Shuttle down. Need status on Ming and Jaden. Over." His cum crackled. No voice answered. He sighed and motioned to Petra. "Help me walk." We searched together. She nodded and put her arm around him. They left the crash site. Dim light filtered through the red fog. They passed broken cargo crates that carried scientific gear. Half buried in mud, a scanner beeped when Jack held it. The screen showed traces of life signs, but only weakly. "It shows 2 signals down there," Petra said, pointing through her scanner. She led Jack along a fallen tree. The air was thick with mist and the smell of moss. The forest ground was muddy and soft. Every step made Jack feel unstable. He held Petra close. On his left, a coil of vine moved. A small creature peeked with 3 eyes. It hissed and vanished into green shadows. Jack paused. He whispered, "Stay quiet. We do not want trouble." They moved slowly. After 10 minutes, they heard voices. Distant and muffled, Jack held his breath. The voices sounded like female laughter. "Human voice," Petra said softly. "Maybe it is Ming." She shook Jack's shoulder. Jack signaled her to be calm. He crouched and led her behind a fallen trunk. He peered over the moss but could see only 2 glowing figures moving near a strange, flowered area. The figures spoke in an alien language. Petra frowned. "I do not think it is Ming," Jack agreed. The voices were high and musical. He waited until one figure stepped into moonlight. Jack's single quote's breath caught. The creature was small and graceful. Her skin was pale blue and translucent. Her hair floated as if underwater. Her eyes were large and violet. She wore simple clothing that looked like soft cloth wrapped around her frame. Petra touched Jack's arm. "She is hurt," Petra said, pointing to the figure's leg. She had a gash that bled a faint silver color. Around her, odd shapes of broken stone looked like ruins. Jack whispered, "She needs help." Petra shook her head. "We do not know her. She might not trust us." Jack looked at the wounded alien. She bent down to touch the ground, and her face showed pain. Jack took a deep breath. He stood and called out quietly, "I am human. I come in peace. I will help you." The alien paused. She looked at the broken tree and frowned. "The other figure?" Move back into shadows. Jack lifted his hands to show he carried no weapons. He took slow steps forward. Petra followed. The alien girl watched him closely. Her eyes were full of fear. When Jack reached her, he knelt. He opened his med kit. He worked carefully to clean the wound with antiseptic gel. The girl winced and, her hand covered her mouth to keep a sound inside. Tears welled in her eyes. Jack spoke softly. I will take care of you. Like I helped Petra, you are safe now. The girl said nothing. Jack bandaged her leg and tested her ankle support straps. When he finished, he looked up. The alien girl held Jack's gaze. Her breathing steadied. Then she reached out a slender hand. Jack hesitated but held his hand palm up. She touched him gently and pulled her hand back. Her skin pulsed with a soft light. Jack felt warmth run through his suit. Petra stared as the glow faded. The girl then nodded and pointed back toward the crash site. Jack looked at Petra. She wants us to go back. Petra seemed unsure. Jack said, we carry her. She cannot walk far. Then we find the rest and call for rescue. Petra nodded and moved to lift the girl. Jack knelt and the girl leaned into his arms. She was light and fragile. He adjusted her so she rested on his chest. Petra helped and they moved slowly through the mist. Each step made Jack feel the weight of responsibility. He had lost his team, but he had found this alien. She showed him trust. He would not fail her. Far ahead, the red mist glowed brighter. The forest canopy opened to reveal the wrecked shuttle and the empty clearing. Jack felt hope. He would save them all and bring help. In the silence, the alien girl reached up and placed her hand on Jack's cheek. Her glow pulsed once more. Jack met her violet eyes and felt a promise form in his mind. He would protect her even if it cost him everything. Jack carried Zara deeper into the forest as the red mist thinned. Each step was a struggle. Zara lay against his chest, her breathing shallow. He glanced at Petra, who supported Zara's legs. The two humans moved as one, careful with every footfall. The jungle was alive. Strange insects shimmered along glowing vines. Ferns with blade-like leaves brushed their arms. Jack held his free hand up, pushing away a vine that tried to wrap around Petra's ankle. Petra whispered, I see a clearing ahead. Her voice trembled. Jack nodded. If they reached the open ground, he could set Zara down and check supplies. In the clearing, the moonlight shone bright. Jack set Zara gently on soft moss. He knelt beside her and examined his small med kit. Most supplies were gone. He found 2 bandages and a vial of antiseptic. He cleaned Zara's bandage again and secured it firmly. Zara S violet eyes fluttered. She studied Jack's face. He smiled and said, You will be okay, I promise. Zara lifted her free hand and touched Jack's helmet. He felt a pulse of warmth. Jack looked toward the trees. He studied the darkness. Something stirred among the foliage. Low growls rolled like thunder. Jack's heart pounded. He tapped Petra's shoulder. Get ready. Petra reached slow for her sidearm. Jack pulled a flare gun from his belt. He pointed it at the edge of the clearing. Suddenly, a pack of native beasts charged in. They were the size of dogs, but leaner, with 6 legs and razor teeth. Their fur glowed faint green. They circled the humans and the alien girl. Jack rose and fired the flare into the air. It burst red and white. The beasts recoiled. One leaped. Forward, jaws snapping. Jack fired another flare at the ground. The creatures paused, snarling. Petra aimed her sidearm and fired a shot. The noise echoed. The creatures scattered but regrouped quickly. Zara whimpered and leaned into Jack. Jack held one hand on the flare gun and raised the other in a protective gesture. He spoke softly but firmly. Stay back. The beasts hesitated. Jack remembered his training. He dropped low and kicked a rock toward the nearest beast. It yelped and retreated. He repeated the move, forcing the pack back toward the trees. Petra backed Zara away. Jack moved forward and flicked the last flare into the underbrush. The light flared bright. The beasts snarled and ran off, disappearing into the dark woods. Jack lowered the gun and breathed heavily. Petra hugged Zara. That was close. Jack scanned the area. Their path was blocked by fallen trees. He brushed sweat from his brow. He knelt and looked at Zara's face. She was silent, but her eyes glowed. Jack said, "We must hurry." "I see. Smoke on my scanner. Rescue ship might be coming." He tapped his scanner. It showed readings northward. Petra nodded. She lifted Zara to sit on her hip. Jack slung Zara's arm over his shoulder. The three moved toward the north. The journey was slow. Petra's breathing panted. Jack supported Zara's weight. The jungle changed. Vines gave way to rocky outcrops. The ground rose like small hills. Zara touched Jack's arm and pointed upward. Jack looked and saw a plateau ahead. He led them toward it. They climbed a steep incline. Jack grabbed Petra's hand and pulled her up. Zara leaned on Jack's shoulder, but kept her eyes on the sky. When they reached the top, they saw a distant glow through the trees. The glow pulsed blue, then green. It was the energy signal they had come to study. Jack single quotes S. heart leapt. "This way," he said, guiding them along a narrow path. Below the plateau, an ancient alien structure lay half buried. Its walls were cracked, and vines covered its surface. Strange symbols glowed faintly. Jack stepped forward. The ground shook slightly. Petra froze. Zara whispered in her alien tongue. Jack crouched and listened. He understood one word, danger. Jack signaled Petra to hold back. He walked toward the entrance. Vines shifted, revealing a dark opening. Inside, the air was cool. Jack held his breath and entered. The walls pulsed with light. Zara's glow matched the pulsing. Petra followed, scanning around. Jack found a control panel. He wiped dust away. Symbols blinked on it. Jack pressed a button. The symbols lit brighter. A low hum filled the chamber. A hidden door slid open, revealing a small room with a glowing device. It looked like a power cord. Zara crawled toward it. Jack stepped between her and the device. Petra raised her weapon. Zara placed her hand on the power core. It glowed intensely. Zara winced and cried out softly. Jack rushed forward. He knelt and held Zara. She looked at him with fear. He said, "I will protect you." At that moment, a voice echoed in the chamber. A deep, alien voice spoke in their minds. Jack froze. Zara's glow flared bright. She clung to Jack. The voice said in broken English, "Help me, wrong taken. Save life." Jack's heart pounded. He looked at Petra. She lowered her weapon, eyes wide. Jack whispered to Zara, "We will help." Zara nodded, tears in her eyes. Jack turned to the panel. He pressed another symbol. The device powered down. The hum stopped. Zara single quotes S glow faded. She looked at Jack and smiled weakly. Jack smiled back. Inside the ancient room, Jack breathed deeply. The panel was silent now. Zara leaned on him, her glow soft. Petra watched the device, wary. Jack helped Zara stand. The alien girl's leg was bandaged, but her face looked pale. He said, "We must find water. You need to rest." Zara nodded and pointed deeper into the structure. Petra studied Zara. "Do you understand her?" she asked. Jack shook his head. "Only some words. She knows this place." He held Zara's hand and led her through a narrow corridor. Vines hung from the ceiling. Strange carvings lined the walls. They emerged into a larger chamber. In the center, a shallow pool of clear water reflected soft lights. Stones surrounded it, and steam rose gently. Jack motioned them forward. He set Zara on a smooth rock. She knelt and drank the water. The liquid was cool and clean. Petra knelt beside her and offered a canteen of water. Zara drank again, then smiled. Jack used a wet cloth to clean Zara's face. She leaned into his hand. He smiled and said, "You are safe." "We will protect you," Zara whispered something in her language. Jack caught the word queen. He looked at Petra. Petra frowned. "Queen? She is royalty?" Jack nodded but said nothing. He helped Zara stand, and they walked out to sunlight. Outside, the jungle seemed less hostile. The red mist was thinning. Jack pointed north where the smoke from rescue should be. Zara's eyes followed. Suddenly they heard voices, English voices. Jack raised his hand and called out, "Help is here." He waved a reflective panel. Petra aimed her sidearm upward to signal. In the sky, a small rescue drone appeared. It hovered above. A mechanical voice said, "We received your signal. Stay still." The drone lowered a cable ladder. Jack carried Zara forward. Petra helped her climb. Jack followed. Zara took Jack's hand as she climbed. Petra was last. Once aboard, the drone closed. Inside, 2 human crew members attended. One was a woman named Lisa Tucker, the other was a man named Carlos Rivas. They worked quickly to strap Zara on a seat. Lisa scanned Zara's leg. "Your friend is badly hurt. We will send medical team." She smiled at Jack. "Thank you for the signal. We will get you and your companions out." Jack nodded. Petra helped him sit. Jack looked back at the jungle and saw a dark shape move near the trees. His heart sank. Suddenly alarms rang on the drone. The door slid open. Mercenaries poured in with weapons. They wore black armor and carried energy rifles. The lead mercenary pointed at Zara. "There she is," he snarled. He pointed rifle. Jack's heart pounded. Petra rose and shouted, "No." She grabbed a loose tool and threw it at the mercenary. The shot missed, but it surprised them. Jack leapt up. He pushed Petra and Lisa aside. He grabbed the lead mercenary's arm and twisted it. The mercenary snarled. Jack shouted at Carlos, "Shut the door!" Carlos moved to press a button. More mercenaries came inside. Lisa threw a device that jammed their weapons. Jack and Petra used the confusion. Jack punched a mercenary in the face. Petra kicked another. Zara cried out and glowed stronger. The mercenaries aimed at her. Jack moved between them. Petra yanked Carlos away from the door controls. Inside the drone, space was tight. The mercenaries reached for Zara. Jack grabbed Zara's hand and pulled her toward the door. Zara placed her hand on a control panel. It lit up. With a hum, the drone rose rapidly. The mercenaries were caught off balance. Carlos shouted, "It's rising! The ramp is closing!" Jack and Petra ran. The ramp slid up just as the last mercenary leaped. His hand caught the edge. Jack reached out and grabbed it. He pulled with all his strength. Petra grabbed the mercenary's other arm. Together they yanked him inside. The drone surged upward. The jungle below grew small. Zara sat in her seat, breathing fast. Her glow pulsed. Lisa pressed a button. The cargo door closed. The lights went dim. Jack and Petra caught their breath. Carlos said, "Thank you, both of you. Without you, she would be lost." Petra nodded. Jack knelt by Zara. He took her hand. She nodded and whispered, "Thank you." Jack smiled. Lisa approached. Zara is the alien princess. Her mother leads a world that helped Earth once. War is coming. Darkness grows. We must protect her. She paused. You saved her life. Earth owes you. Jack swallowed. Jack looked at Zara. Her violet eyes met his. He said, "We will help her. Whatever it takes." Zara reached out and touched his cheek. He felt her glow and said softly, "I will not leave you." Zara smiled. The drone set a course to the human base. Jack and Petra stayed by Zara's side. Outside the window, stars shone bright. Jack thought of his lost teen. He hoped Ming and Jaden were safe. He vowed to find them. Inside the drone, Zara drifted to sleep. Jack watched her. He whispered, "Sleep well, princess. We will protect you." Her glow dimmed gently. Petra laid a hand on Jack's shoulder. "We did the right thing?" Jack nodded. Jack closed his eyes and thought of home. He had come to this planet alone. Now he had a friend from another world. His life had changed. The stars outside seemed endless. Jack knew the journey ahead would be hard, but he felt hope. He turned to Petra and said, "Let's prepare. We have a princess to protect, a team to find, and a war to stop." Petra nodded. Jack looked out the window once more. The galaxy stretched beyond. He felt small but determined. Inside him, a promise burned. He would save Zara, his alien friend, and keep her safe. Whatever the future held, he would stand for her, and so their journey continued among the stars, bound by trust and the hope of a better tomorrow. The drone landed at Human Base Delta. Its metal ramp lowered with a hiss. Beneath a sky of bright floodlights, a small crowd gathered. Soldiers in blue uniforms stood ready. Scientists held tablets. Jack stepped off with Petra and Zara. Jack carried Zara down the ramp. Her breathing was calm. Her bandaged legs still hurt, but she managed a small smile. Petra followed with supplies. Lisa and Carlos escorted them. At the base entrance, Commander Reese waited. He was tall and stern with silver hair. Behind him, Dr. Wright stood ready with a medical stretcher. Report, Reese said. Lisa stepped forward. Princess Zara is safe. Mr. Miller and Ms. Petra stopped mercenaries. Campus team lost 2 poses, 2 lives, but Zara is unharmed. She nodded to Jack. Reese studied Jack. You and Lieutenant Petra did well. He paused and looked at Zara. Your Highness, welcome home. Zara's violet eyes widened. Jack knelt and set her on the stretcher. Dr. Wright examined her. Zara closed her eyes. Jack watched warming lights on her skin. Dr. Wright said, She needs rest and treatment. She has strong healing energy, but she lost blood. He motioned to nurses. Petra and Jack stepped back. They watched as Zara was rolled away. Jack looked at Petra. We stay until she is safe. Petra nodded. Next, Jack and Petra walked to the briefing room. Scientists and officers filled seats. Reese pointed to a holoscreen showing galaxy maps. Reese spoke, Princess Zara is key to peace. Her world, Althora, once protected Earth against the Corsic raiders. Corsic build weapons that drain star energy. They plan an attack soon. Zara carries data that can stop them. Jack leaned forward. The screen showed a planet with broken moons. Where is their base? He asked. Scientist Dr. Lane answered. Corsic hide in the shattered ring system of Dareth. It is hard to reach. Zara can guide us. She switched the holodisplay to a route through asteroid fields. Reese said, Time is short. We must escort Zara back to Althora. Corsic forces grow stronger each day. He looked at Jack. We want you to join this mission, Captain Miller. Jack swallowed. Jack glanced at Petra. Her face was firm. He looked back at Reese. I will protect Zara. I will go. Reese nodded. Planet spun on the holoscreen. Dr. Lane tapped a skull icon. It marked Corsic territory. Jack felt cold. He thought of the jungle and the mercenaries. Reese said, We launch in 2 days. Prepare your gear. Medical teams and Marines will accompany you. Princess Zara will board the flagship Aurora. You will travel as her guard. He dismissed them. Jack and Petra left. They walked down corridors lined with panels. Petra said, Do? You think Zara's mother will trust us? Jack thought back to Zara's hand on his cheek. She saw we risked our lives for Zara. That trust will matter. They reached quarters. Jack opened his locker. He removed extra ammo and a new med kit. He laid them on the table. Petra checked her sidearm and grenades. Jack sat. He pulled out a holophoto. It showed his old survey team, Ming, Jaden, and others. Shadows covered their faces. Knuckles white, Jack whispered, I will find you. Petra placed a hand on his shoulder. We will. Jack blinked away pain. Jack rose and tested his helmet. The display showed mission data, Zara's bio and flight plans. Jack and Petra reviewed them. Petra said, Corsic ships detect life energy. Zara's glow could draw them. She scrolled. We need cloaking shield. She looked at Jack. We must protect her brightness. Jack nodded. We will. Tomorrow we train with the shield team. He closed the helmet. Morning came quickly. Jack and Petra met technicians. A large barrel-shaped device lay on the field. A spark of energy pulsed inside. Engineer Hayes explained, This is the spectral cloak. It hides life energy signatures. Princess Zara will carry this wristband. He fastened. A band. Zara entered. She wore a simple dark tunic. She looked at the device with curiosity. Jack stepped forward. She held out her wrist. Hayes secured the band. It glowed faint blue. Zara touched Jack's arm. Her glow blended with the band. Hayes nodded. Successful link. Jack smiled. Zara smiled back. Next, they practiced evacuation. Petra and Jack carried dummies through slippery slopes and hatch doors. They learned to work fast. In one drill, Jack dropped the cage. It clanged loudly, alarms blared. Simulations of Corsac ships surrounded them with red dots on scanners. Jack and Petra moved the dummy into a shuttle. Engines roared. The hatch closed. Alarms stopped. Lights returned green. Petra laughed. We did it in 60 seconds. Jack patted her back. Good work. Zara clapped softly. After drills, Jack ate in the mess hall. He sipped nutrient soup. Petra ate a sandwich. They spoke quietly. Petra said, I never thought I'd fight in space. Jack chuckled. I never thought I'd save an alien princess. They both smiled. That night, Jack stared at the stars from the observation deck. Zara stood beside him. She looked at Earth in the distance. Jack asked, Are you ready? Zara pressed her wristband and said her word for friendship. Jack nodded. Zara closed her eyes. Jack felt warmth. He said, We start at dawn. May our journey bring peace. Zara opened her eyes and smiled. Jack watched the galaxy. He felt hope and fear. Dawn would bring their greatest test. But he had his promise, and he would keep it, and so, as the first light of Althara's moon rose, Jack prepared to cross the stars with a princess by his side. The flagship Aurora waited on the launch pad as Jack, Petra, and Zara stepped from the shuttle. The ship's hull gleamed under pale lights. Crew members in crisp uniforms moved quickly, checking equipment. Jack carried Zara's small bag. Petra kept watch. Inside the ship, a long corridor led to the command deck. Zara moved slowly, her legs still weak. Jack guided her by the hand. Petra brought up the rear. The deck entrance. Captain Harrington greeted them. He was a middle-aged man with kind eyes. Behind him, a holomap of the galaxy floated. He bowed slightly. Welcome aboard, Princess Zara. I am Captain Harrington. Zara curtsied gently. She spoke softly in her alien tongue. Harrington nodded, placing a hand over his heart. Jack stepped forward. Captain, we are ready for the launch. Harrington turned to his first officer, Lieutenant Carlson. Prepare engines. Course set for Althara. Speed 3.5. Ready? Countdown. Jack watched crew members type commands and adjust controls. The engines hummed low. Petra whispered to Jack, I hope this cloak holds. Jack nodded. We will see soon. He looked at Zara. She rested on a seat by the window. Harrington signaled. All hands, stand by for launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff. The Aurora shuddered and rose. Lights flickered. The crew braced. As the ship moved into orbit, outside the window, Earth fell away and stars filled the view. Jack exhaled. Petra smiled. Zara's glow was faint under her cloak. Jack felt the band on her wrist. Harrington spoke over the deck. We are clear of Earth. Course set to Dareth Ring. We expect Corsac interference. Stay alert. Jack moved to a seat near Zara. He sat and took her hand. She looked at him with violet eyes. Jack said, Rest now. We will wake you before we enter the Corsac zone. Zara nodded and closed her eyes. Petra joined them. She tapped a console. Shield is holding. Life signs steady. Jack turned to her. Good, keep monitoring. Hours passed in silence. Aurora glided through empty space. Crew members prepared weapons and data files. Jack walked the deck, checking on them. He stopped at the engineering bay. Sparks flew as engineers fixed an energy conduit. He said quietly, How goes the cloak? Calibration? An engineer looked up. We improved the shielding to adapt to the Corsac energy patterns. Princess Zara's band should remain hidden. The engineer nodded and returned to work. Jack nodded. He left and found Petra in the armory. She inspected rifles and grenades. Petra said, We load these on our station. We need to be ready for boarders. Jack placed a hand on her shoulder. We. Well, they returned to the observation area. Zara was awake, staring at stars. Jack sat beside her. Petra stood nearby. Zara whispered, Home? She tapped the holomap which showed Althara near Daroth. Jack said, We are close. Soon you will see your world again. Zara smiled faintly and rested her head on Jack's shoulder. Jack and Petra stayed till she slept again. Then they returned to the deck. Moment came when the ship drifted into the Dareth Ring. Holo displays lit up with asteroid fields and debris. Harrington said, "We enter Corsac zone. Cloak at maximum, shields up, defensive grid active." Jack felt the ship slow and changed direction. Thrusters burned. Outside, large asteroids floated. Crew scanned the zone for threats. Jack stood beside Petra at a console. Petra frowned. "I see Corsac signature ahead. 4 small fighters." Jack said, "Bring up the targeting grid. Are they hostile?" Petra tapped the screen. "They are. Weapons armed. They charge." Jack and Petra moved to weapon stations. Harrington ordered, "Prepare." To defend, the Corsac fighters emerged from behind an asteroid. Their hulls looked dark and jagged. Small weapons glowed red. Jack gripped the control handle. He locked onto one fighter. Petra did the same for another. Harrington commanded, "All fire." Bright energy bolts shot from the Aurora's turrets. 2 Corsac fighters were hit and spun. Away, the other 2 fired back. Shields flared, lights dimmed. Alarms rang. Jack and Petra steadied their aim. They fired again. One more fighter exploded. The last fighter retreated behind an asteroid. Petra said, "They are gone for now." Harrington sighed. "Good work. No serious damage. Proceed." He tapped controls and steered the ship deeper into the ring. Jack exhaled. Petra turned to him. "That was close." Jack shrugged. "We knew it would not be peaceful." They returned to the observation area. Zara was awake again, watching. Jack whispered, "We protect you." Zara nodded and touched the band on her wrist. They continued through the ring. Crew remained alert. Hours more passed. Finally, the Aurora reached deep space. Althera came into view. "A blue-green planet with swirling clouds," Harrington announced. "We near orbit. Begin descent preparations." Crew cheered softly. Jack felt excitement. Petra clapped him on the back. Zara stood. She walked to the window. Planet light bathed her cloak. She reached a hand toward it. Jack stood beside her. He said, "Welcome home." Zara closed her eyes, tears forming. Jack felt her trust. He would keep her safe. As Aurora entered Althera's atmosphere, Jack and Petra held positions at the door. They watched Corsac ships in the distance, circling the planet like dark birds. Daylight broke through clouds. Green forests and white cities appeared below. The ship began to descend. Jack thought of the danger ahead, marauding Corsac raiders and allies in need. But he also felt hope. Zara's home would welcome her. The Aurora touched down on a landing platform at Althera's capital. Tall towers of smooth stone rose around them. Crowds gathered at a safe distance. Harrington said, "All secure stations. Prepare to disembark?" Crews cheered. Jack opened the door and stepped out. Petra and Zara followed. The platform was bright and warm. Zara spotted figures in royal robes waiting. Her mother, Queen Lysara, stood at the front. Her skin glowed pale lavender, her eyes wide with relief. Zara ran forward. Jack and Petra stayed back respectfully. Queen Lysara took Zara in her arms. Tears of joy shimmered on her cheeks. She said softly in their language. Zara whispered back. Queen Lysara looked at Jack and Petra. She spoke in perfect English, her voice calm but strong. "Thank you, brave humans. You risked your lives for my daughter. Our worlds are forever linked." Jack bowed his head. Petra did the same. Queen Lysara continued, "Althera stands with Earth. Together we will face the Corsac." Jack felt pride and hope. He looked at Zara, who held her mother's hand. Their journey had led them far from home. It was not over. But new bonds had formed. Jack heard cheers from the crowd. He felt a promise kept. He had saved an alien girl, and that day, 2 worlds came together under a bright sky, ready to stand as one. Dawn broke on Althera's capital as Jack, Petra, and Zara left the throne hall. Crowds cheered as they walked. Flags of Earth and Althera fluttered side by side. Jack carried a small pack. Petra walked close to Zara. They reached a courtyard, where ships lined hangars. The Corsac fighters fled the night before. Zara looked worried. Jack touched her hand. "Do not fear. Althera's guard is strong." Zara nodded. Captain Harrington and Queen Lysara stood by a sleek scout ship. The ship was small but fast, built for stealth. Its hull shimmered under Althera's sun. "This is the Starhawk," Harrington said. "We take this to find Corsek's stronghold. You three will pilot it. Marines and technicians join you." He motioned to a group of soldiers. Jack and Petra helped Zara board. Inside, the cockpit was tight. 2 pilot seats in front. A bench and the control station behind. Zara slid into Jack's seat. Jack strapped himself. Petra took the co-pilot seat. Behind them, Marines and engineers settled into seats. Zara's wristband glowed faintly, hiding her presence. Queen Lasara approached, voice firm. "My daughter. Stay safe. Brave human. Keep her from harm." She handed Jack a small device. "If danger is great, use this." "It calls reinforcements." Jack took it reverently. The engines hummed. Pilot lights blinked. Jack tested controls. "Ready?" he asked. Zara nodded and placed her hand on the throttle. Harrington called, overcome. "Starhawk, you are clear to launch." "Good luck." The hangar doors slid open. Jack gently guided the ship forward. Engines flared. The ship rose into sky. Crowds below cheered as Althora faded behind. Inside, silence fell. Petra checked scanners. "There are no Corsic ships near." "Route is clear." She plotted course to Dareth Ring. Jack smiled. "Set autopilot, we need rest." Petra activated autopilot. Zara closed her eyes. Jack and Petra watched Althora grow small. Petra whispered, "I feel safe with these controls." Jack laughed softly. "Me too." Hours passed in gentle flight. Zara slept. Petra and Jack spoke quietly about their families on Earth. They shared hopes for peace. Soon, the glow of Dareth's shattered moons appeared. Petra said, "We enter Corsec. Territory soon." Jack nodded and woke Zara. Zara stirred, eyes bright. She spoke her word of courage. Jack tapped the device Queen Lasara gave. A small green light flashed. Petra said, "Reinforcements called. They will meet us near the outer ring." Jack exhaled. Star HAWK moved between asteroids. Corsic mines glowed. Scanners showed small fighters. Jack said, "Prepare defenses." "We may need to evade." Petra armed thrusters. Zara touched her band. Suddenly, Corsic fighters appeared. They fired bolts. Jack pulled the ship into a sharp turn. Rocks flew past. Petra shouted, "Shields hold, but only just." She returned fire. With ship's laser. 2 fighters sparked and retreated. The others closed in. Zara reached out and touched Jack's shoulder. Her glow pulsed through the cloak. Jack saw Corsic targeting sensors flicker. Jack cried, "Zara, now!" Zara placed both hands on her band. It lit bright. The ship's cloak burst with energy, hiding its signature completely. Corsic ships lost lock. They fired blindly, hitting empty space. Jack and Petra used the moment to escape. Star HAWK sped deeper into the ring. Fighters could not track them. Petra set course to reinforcements location. Hours later, a larger Althora cruiser appeared. Its guns rested, a beam linked to Starhawk. It closed the distance. Harrington's single quotes S voice came. "Starhawk, we have you. Welcome aboard." The beam held the ship steady. Jack guided Starhawk in. They docked. Inside the cruiser, Queen Lysara waited with a council of leaders. Lysara thanked Jack and Petra. "Zara's gift saved you. Her courage guides us." She smiled at Zara. Jack bowed. Petra did as well. Leaders spoke of plans to free Althora and Earth from Corsac. Jack felt hope. He thought of his home. He felt far but necessary. Queen Lysara offered Jack and Petra places at her side. "Stand with us as allies." Jack accepted. Zara squeezed Jack's hand. He smiled. In the war room, holodisplays showed Corsac bases on Althora's moon and other worlds. Jack said, "We strike here first." He tapped a base on the map near the moon's surface. Scientists nodded. Engineers plotted attack routes. Lysara said, "This fight will be hard. But we fight together." She looked at Jack and Petra. Jack felt the weight of his promise. He would protect Zara and link worlds. As plans formed, Jack looked at Zara. She watched with violet eyes, determined. Jack thought, "I was left for dead. But I found life and purpose. Now I stand for 2 worlds. And so the Alliance moved toward battle, bound by trust, hope, and the courage of a brave human and an alien girl he saved.